Hello, friends. Welcome back to Gwendolyn's Cauldron. So glad that people are joining me and following me. It's kind of exciting. This is a totally new thing for me, and so I'm going to stumble around a little bit, but I'm still hoping to make some good content that will be uplifting and inspiring for you. And today I thought I would come on and talk about two things that sound wonderful: chocolate and happiness. So I want to say, first of all, that uh, for some people, chocolate is not something they enjoy and doesn't necessarily make them happy. But if you were listening to the 2022 energy map video, you know that February's word, the magic word, is chocolate. And the affirmation with that is, I allow myself simple luxuries. And for some of us, me especially, we think of chocolate as one of those special things. But you can, of course, substitute any word or thing that makes you happy, that allows you some of that personal sort of sense of indulgence. So that's one thing. And then I thought I would share a little message that I'm going to paraphrase from my spirit guide. I am a channeler. I hold a monthly public channeling now on a teleconference line every third Thursday of the month. If you're interested in hearing the whole expanse of this and many more messages, just shoot me an email. And if you want to join our call, it is open to the public, and I can send you information about that. So let me take a sip of water here. I live in northwestern Vermont. It is very cold, and we have the heat on, so there's always a certain amount of dryness in winter. So my spirit guide that I channel every month is Mother Earth. And I do a topic-driven section to begin the channeling sessions. I eventually opened it up to questions of all kinds. But this past month, January, the topic was on happiness. And I think that in the current times we are living in COVID and with all of the upheavals that we all have faced, happiness might seem to many of us to be a concept that is way above or beyond us at times. It is a rather nebulous concept. It is a concept that seems very hard for some of us to reach for at some times. So my guide talked to us about happiness as being a feeling, a state of mind, or an experience. So happiness can be any of those three, but she most focused in on the idea that happiness is a state of mind that we all can choose to manifest. It's not just a feeling and it's not just an experience, but it's more of something that's a practice. And we talk a lot on the channeling sessions about choosing love over fear. And I know that's a very vague concept too, except that we do know that the more fear we hold in our bodies, or the more fear we hold in our communities, the less well we are, the less we are able to cope and make ourselves happier and more satisfied and more connected. So when my guide talked to folks about the idea of happiness, she says, separate yourself from the notion of your own happiness being dependent on what is going on around you. What are the external circumstances? What's going on in the world? That you can be happy if you choose, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything related to what is going on in the world. And I'll add a caveat to that. I'll add my own thought about that is the more that you focus on your own happiness, first of all, that's not selfish, but the more that you do it, the more that you will see positive things in the world. Okay. So I think for a lot of us right now, it's very challenging to find happy things going on in the world, but it is possible. And part of that is we have to change our own lens, our own perceptions. So, an encouragement to separate our happiness from what's going on in the world around us to things that are going from a wide range of the feelings that might cause happiness. So, for example, we have a wide range of feelings that come under the concept of happiness, and it can go from a general state of contentment and peace of mind all the way to an abundant sense of joy. And that's a pretty wide range of emotion, so that, you're not always going to feel abundantly joyful. In fact, many of us are struggling with that these days. But I find that my sense of contentment, my peace of mind is actually more precious to me than trying to cultivate a sense of abundant joy. Doesn't mean we shouldn't try to cultivate that, but it means that we can reach for whatever level of feeling that will aid us in our experience of happiness. Or water. So, the other thing about happiness is that we can model happiness if we take a long look at our life, a long view, I should say. So, happiness being a state of mind, we won't always have the feeling of happiness. We can hold happiness while also feeling a sense of worry or concern for a friend or a loved one or for something that has gone on in the world. But we can also hold our happiness. And in that sense, gratitude can come into play by looking at our lives and our state of being as something that's reasonably stable, reasonably uh, good, reasonably a sense of peace of everything that you have and what you are doing. But you can also hold the feelings of concern or worry, and yet maintain and retain the sense of happiness. So that's very important because we can't always hold happy thoughts and happy emotions, but yet that doesn't mean that our lives don't have a sense of happiness. If this is a general look at your life from the long view, at the end of the day, you can say, "Oh, I did this. I was able to do that. I had a nice conversation with so and so." And look at the happy moments. And the more that you look at the happy moments, the more happy moments you are cultivating. And you're also modeling that for other people around you. So I always talk about how we are being held in the energy field of the earth. And we have energy fields, we have auras, and the earth has one too that we can't escape from, and nor should we want to. And, the more that we cultivate this sense of happiness, choosing love over fear, the more of that positivity we are feeding into the field, into the earth's energy field, and to other people around us. we don't necessarily recognize how we are feeding the field, but follow your heart, follow the path of happiness, cultivate that sense of happiness, and allow yourself some of the simple pleasures in life, like chocolate, for example, and flowers, and other marvelous things like we do during Valentine's Day. So I'm going to leave you with that little message and wish you a very happy day in love and peace. Bye.